Kendrick Lamar at this point needs no introduction.
What the deal?
Allow me to do it anyway. 22-time Grammy Award Winning, Pulitzer Prize Holding, chart-breaking, era-defining, and soon-to-be Super Bowl halftime performing, Kendrick Lamar has come a long way from his humble beginnings in Compton. But how? This is the story of how Kendrick Lamar took over the world. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth was born on June 17, 1987 in Compton, California, a city infamous for its gang violence and poverty, but also the birthplace of some of the most influential voices in hip-hop. Growing up, Kendrick wasn't immune to the struggles of his environment. His father had ties to street life and his family lived in Section 8 housing. But even amidst the chaos, young Kendrick found solace in storytelling and music. In 1995, at just 8 years old, Kendrick witnessed a life-changing moment.
They were shooting a video in my neighborhood in Compton. My father seen him, went 2 blocks down, got me. By the time he got me, everybody was out there. It was like pandemonium. Put me on his shoulders, and there he was, Dr. Dre, Tupac right there, and I think it was a white Bentley. Subconsciously, I think it branched me off to what I'm doing now. 15 years later, I meet Dr. Dre, and I explain that story to him when I seen him, and he remembered that exact same moment, and remember them kids that was out there. And I said, Dre, I was one of them kids that was there.
Kendrick's journey began like many other aspiring artists, humble and hungry. At 16, he released his first mixtape under the name K-Dot. While the mixtape didn't gain national attention, it garnered significant local buzz and caught the eye of Top Dog Entertainment. What set Kendrick apart even then was his ability to merge raw lyricism with profound storytelling. While many rappers leaned into braggadocio, Kendrick focused on vulnerability, exploring themes like survival, identity, and morality. He wasn't afraid to rap about the darkness he saw around him. By the mid-2000s, Kendrick was signed to Top Dog Entertainment, a crucial step in his career. The label provided him with resources, mentorship, and a community of artists like J-Rock and Schoolboy Q. Kendrick's first independent album, Section 80, was a powerful statement to the music world. Songs like High Power showcased Kendrick's commitment to activism and his emerging confidence as a voice for his generation, cementing his reputation as a promising new artist. While the album earned critical acclaim, Kendrick still hadn't reached the mainstream. But that was all about to change.
I say 8 doobies to the face, what? 12 bottles in the case, what?
Kendrick Lamar's 3-album run in the 2010s is widely regarded as one of the greatest in hip-hop history. Good Kid, Mad City introduced Kendrick's unparalleled storytelling, vividly portraying life in Compton and exploring themes of innocence lost amidst violence and temptation, earning Grammy nominations and multi-platinum status. To Pimp a Butterfly elevated Kendrick's artistry, blending jazz, funk, and soul with bold explorations of systemic racism, identity, and self-love, becoming a cultural touchstone for the Black Lives Matter movement and a Grammy winner. With Damn, Kendrick achieved mainstream dominance while maintaining his lyrical depth, earning him a Pulitzer Prize, the first for a hip-hop album, and cementing his status as a generational voice. Together, these albums achieved critical acclaim, commercial success, and deep cultural resonance. Few, if any, in hip-hop have matched Kendrick's blend of narrative, innovation, and impact. Kendrick felt unstoppable, reaching new heights with every step, but then nothing.
I've been going through something.
After Damn, Kendrick would take a 5-year hiatus from solo work. During this time, Kendrick largely stepped back from the public eye, focusing on his personal life, including becoming a father and exploring his identity beyond music. Kendrick's break was partly fueled by his desire to avoid burnout and ensure his next project was a true reflection of his evolving artistry. His hiatus was not inactivity, but rather a period of intentional stillness, allowing him to return with renewed purpose and one of his most introspective works yet.
1,855 days. I've been going through something.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers marked Kendrick's long-awaited return, delivering a deeply introspective and experimental double album that divided fans. The project explored heavy themes such as generational trauma, therapy, fatherhood, gender dynamics, and personal accountability, with Kendrick offering his rawest and most vulnerable self. For some, the album's introspective nature felt like a necessary evolution. For others, it was a departure from the high-energy, culturally anthemic Kendrick they were used to. The album also seemed to suggest a contentment with stepping away from the relentless pursuit of being number one, a title that, in Kendrick's absence, had only seemed to sway more and more in the direction of Drake, whose output in the years Kendrick was silent was prolific, and with the somewhat underwhelming response to Mr. Morale, fans started to wonder, could Kendrick recapture the culture in the way he had during the 2010s? Just under 2 years from the release of Mr. Morale comes Like That, which featured a surprise verse from Kendrick calling out Drake, re-sparking a decade-long beef. The hunger we thought had gone after listening to tracks like Crown and Mirror seemed to be back and stronger than ever.
Fuck the big three, it's just big me.
If the Like That verse was intended as a declaration of war, then it succeeded, as we would go on to witness arguably the greatest hip-hop battle of all time, reaching dizzying heights and dark lows never before seen. Drake first responded with push-ups, which aimed jabs at Kendrick's height, his business, and questioned his artistic integrity, whilst also hitting back at other artists such as Rick Ross and Metro Boomin.
Metro, shut your ass up and make some drums.
We had to wait longer than we perhaps would have liked at the time, but when we finally got Euphoria, it was well worth the wait. A total dissection of Drake, calling out his authenticity, cultural identity, being a bad father, and so on. This led to Drake pressing his red button and releasing Family Matters. The track was similar to Push Ups in that he took aim at multiple artists and not solely Kendrick, but in the two verses mainly dedicated to the Compton rapper, he made damning claims that Kendrick was abusive and also suggested Kendrick's son was in fact his general manager and frequent collaborator Dave. However, this was war, and Kendrick showed tremendous strategy when, within the hour, he released Meet the Grammys, totally eliminating the impact of Family Matters, whilst also directing accusations of criminal activity and parental neglect in the direction of Drake. This, combined with how haunting the song sounds, made it impossible to ignore and so shocking that Drake's best shot ultimately was overshadowed by the darkness of Meet the Grammys. And just as the beef felt like it had hit its peak, Kendrick released a track that would put the nail in the coffin.
What's the password?
I see dead people.
Not Like Us ripped out the pages from Drake's back-to-back playbook and tripled down. The perfect pick-me-up after Meet the Grammys' toe-curling energy. Not Like Us
Had this bitch jumping.
quotable after quotable, meme after meme. This song was being seen everywhere. It was being played everywhere. It was unavoidable, and there was simply no coming back for Drake despite his lackluster attempt on the Heart Part 6.
I'm way too famous for the shit you just suggested.
However, even though the diss tracks and beef seasons seem to have come to an end, Not Like Us would continue to grow. It transcended the beef and became arguably the song of 2024, backed up by its record-breaking night at the Grammys. Its upbeat nature made it the perfect song to soundtrack Kendrick's victory lap post-beef, whether it be the pop-out show, the release of the video, and who knows what he has up his sleeve for the Super Bowl performance.
Let's go.
It is this song, the ultimate climax of a decade-long beef, that has planted Kendrick Lamar back on the throne, and I don't think he's going to budge anytime soon. The release of GNX was welcomed with overwhelming praise, balancing hard-hitting bangers, soulful R&B tracks, and introspective cuts that Kendrick fans crave. This project seems like the perfect precursor to the Super Bowl performance, and despite the unprecedented success of a year that 2024 was for Kendrick, this only feels like the beginning.